Hello everyone, this is Anton64,
And this is THD.
and welcome to the HellfireComms playthrough of Sparkster, developed by Konami, released for the Super Nintendo, and commentated on obnoxiously and brought to you directly by us.
Oh yeah, finally the integral commentary track experience for this game. Sorely what the game needed, you know?
Indeed. Alright, here's a little bit of backstory for you, and I read verbatim from both Wikipedia and what I would assume, it's been a while, the game's manual. The Kingdom of Eginasem, or however you pronounce it, a land inhabited by possums, is under attack by the Lioness's army of yellow dog soldiers, or wolves, to give them their proper terminology, which also kidnapped Princess Flora. Sparkster, the eponymous Rocket Knight, is out to battle this threat, rescue the princess, and save the kingdom from certain destruction. His nemesis, the rival Rocket Knight Axel Gear, is aiding the invading forces, making Sparkster's task even more dangerous. The player's goal is to battle through all of the enemy warriors and robots, defeat Axel Gear, and infiltrate the enemy's battleship, where the Yellow Dog's leader, General Isimo Lioness, yes, that is his real name, is planning to launch a warhead to destroy the planet.
Oh man, sounds like serious stuff. And doesn't Axel Gear sound so much like a Metal Gear boss when you think about it?
It's pretty fucking 90s. Okay, the bread and butter of Sparkster. Unrelated to the Mega Drive game of the same name, by the way. Same character, different continuity. Maybe we'll get more into that in a little bit. But your rocket pack, that's basically going to be used in conjunction with what I guess the Rocket Knight Blade is never really named, to launch attacks and whatnot. You can charge it up manually to shoot up into the air, and you can do it diagonally. It comes in very handy for getting around enemy attacks and whatnot. If you charge up and then like spin on the spot, you know, without moving, you do a little twirly like a buzzsaw attack, which is pretty effective for taking out shielded enemies.
You know, Sparkster here is basically Konami's attempt at the typical, you know, animal mascot that you saw so often during the 90s. And I gotta say, I love the mechanics of the whole, you know, Rocket Knight thing, where you have the sword, but you can also complement that with your jetpack to shoot and do different kinds of attacks. My experience with this series is mostly the first game, actually. I've only played a little bit of the second one. And, but I feel that game really kind of established, you know, that kind of combat style really nicely. Have you ever played the first one, by the way?
We're talking about Rocket Knight Adventures for the Mega Drive.
Yes, have you ever played that?
No, I have not. I have not played Sparkster Rocket Knight Adventures 2 either.
Yeah, oh yeah, they, later on, they made a downloadable sequel to this game, didn't they? Like, years later, oh boy.
Yeah, the art style is, not to my liking, but please, continue.
But like I said, you know, my experience was mainly with the first game, and even though I do have to say, you know, watching this game now and having watched a little bit beforehand, the graphics look fantastic, and the sound, of course, is, you know, typical Konami quality. But still, I gotta admit, some of it's nostalgia, some of it is because, you know, I like my old piece of shit Mega Drive. I like the aesthetic of the first game more. I gotta be honest with you, Sparkster's new anime hairdo here, I ain't feeling that at all. I think it looks like shit, to be honest.
This is Axel Gear. He's a prick. We'll beat him into submission later. Here's the first boss of the game. That glowing eye, yes, it does release lasers, so don't be like me. Try and watch out for it.
I gotta say, the boss battles in this game, and well, in the last game too, they're always pretty hype because of the whole rocket mechanic, where you just kind of just fly into their weak spot and just hit them for massive damage. You know, and yes, we're gonna bring out that old chestnut, but even so, I always felt that the bosses were really great in this short little series as a whole. Can we really call it a series? Because a series hasn't had a lot of games in it.
Yeah, it kind of like rebooted once for this, and then like again for the downloadable title. It's pretty crazy. A little bit of like directorial backstory here. Directed by Hideo Ueda, who was also the main programmer. There's a game called Axile, where he was the lead programmer, but other than that, I don't really know much about the guy. He's worked on a lot of Konami stuff like Castlevania Chronicles and Twin Bee, stuff like that. Musically, you've got people who'd go on to work on the Silent Hill games, Castlevania, and some of them even did remixes for Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, we got a lot of great talents on this game. I do want to mention, way back where, you know, at the beginning of this video when Tom was, you know, talking over and giving the basic spiel about the game, you'll notice he set the difficulty to hard, and there's a reason for that. Like with the last game, you can't play the full game unless you play on hard. Like, you can't get, like, the best ending, all the levels, things like that.
No.
So, of course, I assume you're naturally save-stating the hell out of this.
Oh, yes, I am, and my emulator has a very, very handy feature wherein you record a movie, which basically records your inputs. Then you play it back and record an AVI, and it removes all the saving and the stating and makes it one fluid movie, which is pretty great.
That is really convenient. And you know what? I'm not even gonna, like, give you shit for that. Rocket Knight is fucking hard. Like, in the, the first one that I played, like, that shit gets ridiculous after a while, to be honest. And personally, I'd be doing the same thing.
Well, Sparkster itself gets pretty tricky later on. Like, right here in the second level, you have instant death traps. This is the Steelworks, by the way, and I just love them banging tunes.
I gotta say, though, like, I love how, you can charge up the sword to do, like, a slash attack. I think it looked better in the first game. I don't know if all the extra colors on the SNES version actually help this game's case. I don't know. Like I said, I grew up with a Genesis. That's just what I recognize.
This is flying battery as fuck, this boss.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I assume if you didn't kill that guy in time, he would have crushed you.
Haven't fully, sorry, I don't mean to ignore you, but I've got other stuff to talk about here. Didn't really fully cover the sword mechanics. You can do a little dash left and right with the shoulder buttons. Very useful, not only for, like, taking out enemies in front of you, but also for, like, a little bit of extra movement in the air. You could have seen me using it back there against the Golden Knight boss.
I'm not Sparkster, that's my recolor, Blarkster.
Blarkster. Yeah, don't go into the crushers, you will instantly die and lose a life. Such is the way of video games.
And, well, real life, if you had more than one life. Well, if you believe in reincarnation, do you have multiple lives?
It's always best to believe, I guess. Okay, the second boss, the assembly robot. He is fucking piss easy. Just get on top of him and slash away. There's like no minions you have to look out for. He's got like missiles and like he'll twirl a spiky stick around every so often. Other than that, you're just basically hitting a computer.
Interesting how the assembly robot has built-in lasers and spikes. I don't know where, and missiles. I don't know where you get that in an assembly line. Like, which factory needs those? Unless you're making war weapons, I suppose.
Well, this is the evil Generalissimo Lioness's army. Who knows what they're building?
In the first game, I believe the enemy was, what were they? They were, like, evil pigs, I guess, wolves and lions are a bit more threatening than pigs. I don't know, do pigs normally oppose opossums? I don't get it.
Well, I know the second game on the Mega Drive, Sparkster Rocket Knight Adventures, had an enemy by the name of King Geldor, and he had like a goblin or lizard army. This was adapted into a strip in Sonic the Comic, and that's mostly where a lot of my nostalgia for Sparkster comes from, even though I never played the Mega Drive title.
Yeah, you really got that weird kind of, like, I always think it's so weird when I look at, like, the Sonic UK comics and the Sega UK comics, and I find them, like, so different. Like, over here, we're mostly used to Archie adapting this shit, but over, like, back in your place, you've got, like, all these different kind of games they cover, which is a lot more than they got in the West, comic-wise, I think.
Say hello to Stampy Doo, he'll be our vehicle, if you can even call it that, for the duration of level 3. When you're in Stampy Doo, you can fire lasers forward with him, and if you charge up your rocket, you can boost forward and back, if you wish, really, really fast, and you can also jump out of the cockpit to use your standard attacks. Don't worry, you will always, like, snap back to the robot.
God, Snappy Doo is fucking booking, look at this guy!
Now I got somewhere to go really, really quickly. Oh my god, E3's on in a month, I gotta get there.
I gotta get the sales, man.
Jesus Christ, we were just watching, like, before recording this part, it was like an emotional roller coaster, where Bill Trinan, Miyamoto's translator, and I think head of marketing at Nintendo America, but don't quote me.
He's the senior marketing manager, I believe.
Okay, thank you, Hell Dragon. You are useful some of the times in these commentaries.
You are useful.
But anyway, he put out, like, a fake tweet about he was, like, leaving Nintendo. Turned out to be a one-way ticket on a ruse cruise. It was all a joke from the video, E3, but they're bringing back the Nintendo World Tournament. They're having a digital event again. Oh my god, this video's going to be dated when it goes up after E3 in July.
By the way, here's a stupid-looking robot. Looks like somebody ordered a stupid-looking boss.
This game likes to, like, leave hanging threads that get resolved in later levels. I believe this guy is the boss of the next level.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That should be interesting. I haven't watched all this ahead of time, but like I said, I did play a little bit of it, and I played a little bit, and I was like, it's not my Rocket Knight adventure, so I stopped.
It's too hard for me, my aging, crumbling thumbs can't keep up with this fast-paced action.
Man, the first game was hard even when I was a kid. What are you talking about?
I really should get round to playing those. I mean, I'm playing the Mega Man games. I don't really have any excuse now.
Yeah, you might as well, man. I mean, like, the first game is really good, and like I said, I prefer his design in the first game than, Captain Anime Hair over here.
Oh, the boss coming up is one of my most least liked in the game. I was about to say least favourite, but that's a bit of an oxymoron.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this guy is.
He's not green, sadly. It's not thematically consistent, which kind of bums me out a bit. 7.8, not enough consistent colours.
Are they on top of, like, some mountaintops because of the clouds? I just realized that.
There's a thing with, like, levels not really leading into each other naturally very well. We'll get to that later on, I guess. Okay, this guy, let me look up his name. Just gotta scroll down. Oh, Giant Caterpillar. Thanks, guy. That says a lot, really.
Well, I'm glad you looked that up. I was confused.
You just gotta rock him up into his pieces here and then blast him to bits with Stampy-Doo.
It's kind of like Wiggler, I suppose, if Wiggler attacked you with lasers.
If Robotnik roboticized Wiggly, yes. There's a storyline for Worlds Unite if ever I saw one.
Yeah, that would be interesting, yeah, now that I think about it.
Man, that crossover is going to be so much like a clusterfuck with like Ryu and whatever else is going to be in there. I know Billy Hatch is in there for some reason.
Amaterasu is going to be in it, which is pretty hype. And again, big Okami fan here, as we all know.
Okay, second phase of this, you just gotta boost into him, you can duck to avoid the fire. This one is gonna be a bit of a close call, I'm afraid. This is hard mode, after all, and I'm a pleb.
Yeah, his second mode attack is to look completely stupid, hopping back and forth.
Boom.
Nicely done. Oh man, this guy is still, like, the level's done, but I still must run.
Well, yeah, like we said, he's got places to go and people to see.
Gotta run away from the score. No, not the life bonus to touch me. Oh, I'm dead.
Just chuck Sparkster off. You got like level 4 to go through. Welcome to the submarine. This place reminds me of that one level in Sonic Rush. I forget its name. But it had like crushing things. This level also has an instant death kind of gimmick. We'll see it when we get to it. But oh man, these tunes. One of the most banging pieces on the soundtrack.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. I am loving the music in this. And I'm watching you play this with the general speed of the game. I'm sitting there going, man, this is like Mexi level stuff. I mean, assuming he wouldn't use save states, he'd probably memorize the whole game like 1,000,000 times over just to get it absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
I always love these impossible lasers that they put inside of these kind of bases. They're always like, there's always these convenient pits in the floor that let you duck underneath them. Well,
if we're going like along the game's point of view, they would be for the soldiers, the navymen and the like.
Well, I'm sure that's a safe idea. Let's put our soldiers in the same area as a giant and penetrating laser.
What does it power, anyway? The universe?
Something like that, I guess. I don't know. The unit is so small, like, you don't really see a battery in there.
Fruit will be your health power-up for this game. Treasure it, consume it. It will make you healthy.
I guess part of me does wonder why they decided to pick an opossum and give him a fucking jetpack, but this is the same area that had a super fast hedgehog of all creatures, so you know what, I guess we'll just have to make do.
Yeah, it was the era of the mascot platform. He had Sonic, I guess Gex would count. Sparkster is one of the ones that I think stood the test of time, because just in terms of like graphically, musically, and even though it may not be as hardcore as like the original one, I feel the SNES version of the game really like stands the test of time.
Yeah, and I think the design in general, back when Sonic came out, they were coming out with the mascots who were, like, edgy with attitude, and trust me, the American advertising for Rocket Knight Adventures definitely tried to play that up. But, when you look past that, Sparkster isn't really edgy. He's just he's just an opossum with a cool gimmick. So, I think he's not as cringeworthy as all the other ones were.
He's just basically heroic, chivalrous, if you will. Yes, this is like a wall of death scenario. You better get to the end, or it's an instant death, and that water, it comes up very, very quickly. That took me a few takes.
There was a similar last level to that in Rocket Knight Adventures where it was those typical, you're scrolling up and you have to go through the level really fast or you get crushed. There wasn't any water, but still, it was a pain in the ass.
Alright, next boss, Colonel Wolfheim. Why are wolves working for a lion? I guess we'll discover why at the end of the game. First form, just basically take out some turrets.
Well, why were hyenas working for Scar? You think about that, right?
Well, I could give you a direct answer for that, Mr. Sassy Dragon. They were working for Scar because he gave him all the good food.
No, he didn't. That was like the whole point of them eventually eating them when he got killed.
Yes, I guess he tasted very bitter.
Although I guess, if you can't fight me with a robot, just use a giant impossible gun.
Well, you say that, but here's phase 2, 3 of this fight.
Man, they're pulling out, I love how, with these old Genesis games, in order to make movement like this, they would have to rely on all these different sprites, linked up together to create, these really weird wobbly limbs. I just love it as part of a, retro kind of charm.
And he's out of there.
Treasure in particular would use this technique a lot, and they made, these huge, super complex bosses with this thing. It just looks great,
Oh, it feels good taking out that guy. He pipped me with a bomb back in stage 3, and it kind of stuck in my craw, so to speak. So let's just enjoy this very differently tinged palette of a sunset and move on to the next level, which is Sandopolis Zone, wouldn't you know?
Okay, well I guess we're practically required to have one if we're having a Sonic-esque mascot platformer,
This kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. The levels don't really seem to sync up very well, because this tripping thing just happens randomly sometimes. I don't really know how to explain it, but the levels kind of go from you go from a lakeside to the second level, which is a steelworks. I guess there could have been a steelworks just off the lakeside. Then you go to a canyon, which I guess kind of makes sense if they're building the steelworks in a canyon. Then you go to friggin' Egypt, and after a submarine. So I don't know what's what, but maybe I'm looking into it too much. This mini boss isn't too hard. Just Rocket Knight attack him, and you're good to go.
Yeah, just hit him in the face until he falls down, that tends to be a good strategy.
Oh man, I can't wait to start writing my own series of FAQs. Hit him until the bad guy is no more. The end. Ad revenue, please.
Yeah. I bet we've gotten a lot of old magazine reviews that worked out that way.
I didn't really point it out, but there was a bit of a level puzzle back there, where you had to hit a switch and get things to revolve. You just want to keep hitting it until the tunnels go diagonal, and then when you find a background that has a carpet leading down, a similar pattern to a carpet anyway, that's where you want to go to. Yeah,
because I was looking at that puzzle, I'm like, wow, that looks annoying as shit if you don't know what to do. I love how the level design encourages the use of bouncing everywhere using your rocket pack. I mean, it just feels so satisfying to do.
Yeah, it ties into the platforming, it ties into the combat mechanics. It's really a very fluid system. Not so much when you're playing on an Xbox 360 controller, which doesn't like reading diagonals a lot of the time, but I may do. Now, come Dynamite Heady, if we ever get around to that, I'm going to be pulling my fucking hair out.
Yeah, Diamond Heady, that's a good game, but it hates people sometimes, and you know what? You should totally play that game and then get all the secret bonus points just to piss you off enough.
Do you want to eat a dick, Mr. H-Dragon?
No thank you, I think I'll pass.
Okay.
Beautiful sunset back here. I love, what they did with the limitations of the hardware, and it just looks great, even now.
Yeah, I'm sure the Desert Worm, the boss of this level, appreciates your IGN review. Okay, the weakness to this guy. His head, obviously, but you've got to hit the real one. And I believe the real one always has a brown head, and a red one indicates that they are fake. And if you destroy a fake one, it will just reform into the body. So just focus on the real one, and you're good to go.
This is a cool arena to have a battle with, you're rocketing around all over the place, you're doing spin attacks, you're jumping back and forth on different platforms. It looks really fun to play,
Mm-hmm. Cool guys don't look at bosses exploding.
Yeah, he's too busy, he's got to wait for the score to pop up.
Did he beat the boss? Well, I better put the stage clear thing in, just to be safe.
It'd be funny if you, scrolled them off and then the game just counted it as dead, because you've done that before in, some games that are glitch out.
Do you want to name any, just to make this segue very awkward?
Well, I think we're already there, so I don't technically need to name anything.
We're constantly at awkward state, I guess. Welcome to Music Land, and I'm pretty sure Sega would go on to use this in, Sonic Advance 2 and the like, but, well, what am I saying? They already did. Rystar had a level just like this.
That's true, but Sonata is way better than this. I'm sorry, Sonata was fucking amazing, as is most of that game.
Well, my heart lies with Freon, mate, so I'll give you that. This was a robotic elephant piloted by a wolf wearing purple armour, playing a piano with spike balls. It's just that sort of 90s charm.
Yeah, like games these days, they're just afraid to get kind of crazy and weird for the sake of fun. It's always got to be super serious story mode. Let's go. And it's just like you miss out on it. Even though modern era does have its advantages.
I mean, we're shit-talking this, but that kind of adventure still exists, mostly from Nintendo and indie developers, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine that indie developers are doing it. I mean, we've all seen what's happening with Ukulele, so there you go.
What were these guys thinking, hiding in these, like, what are they, trumpet? Like, the end of trumpets?
And they got, like, confetti going everywhere, it must get in their eyes.
I'm sorry, this level is just so not consistent with the game. It's, like, so bright and happy.
Yeah, it's like he's in a completely different kingdom altogether. Like, where the hell is he? Like, is this even in the same continent, the same world? I don't know.
Let's just roll with video game logic.
Yeah, he's in a video land.
Now, these things won't kill you if you get caught up in them, but they will smart and make you do a retake, so try to be careful.
So, is that a common thing that Sparkster has to deal with?
Yeah, you can go back to old GamePro issues. Made me do a retake, 5 out of 10.
Man, I miss GamePro. I miss it so fucking much. Like, I remember back when, they were doing reviews, and every writer, like, they would have multiple cartoon personalities, and gave the magazine some character and class, but now we gotta be super serious. Nobody can have any fucking fun. What are you, nuts?
I believe the boss is coming up soon, Helldragon.
As they tend to do, come at the end of a level, I would think.
Always there with the sass, that's why I like you so much.
It'd be great if you go to the end of the level. Nope, you're done. The boss just quit. He went to lunch, sorry.
And this is why we went with the musical trope, so we could have Axel Gear playing a really creepy organ.
Yeah, I get it. Fan of the Opera, that's awesome. Let's fight, dude.
Yep, this is just basically a one-on-one kind of battle. The most fun boss battle with Axel in the game. You do fight him twice, the second one is not nearly as fun, so enjoy this while it lasts.
Yeah, I much prefer one-on-one, like the enemy is as capable as you are, because those fights are way more satisfying, I think.
I mean, just look at this shit, this is Hive.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I could see why, people love this game a bunch with boss battles like these.
Just gotta keep hitting him until he throws in the towel. Hopefully he won't run off with the princess, because that would just be annoying.
I know, man. I just hope he doesn't resort to that trope.
Well...
Yeah, of course, fine.
Well, we do have a whole other video to get through, so it would kind of be cutting things short if the game ended right here. Alright guys, that's your first taste of Sparkster for the Super Nintendo. We'll see you next time for the second half of the game. Bye bye for now.